Okay, so welcome everybody. It's good to see everyone. And we had a wonderful opening and show at Grafika. And Lynn emailed me yesterday and said that she sold Michelle Spencer's winning painting to the Mercantile Library, and it will be on display there. So she kind of got into the permanent collection. So that's wonderful news. Wonderful news. Don't forget, retrieval is this Friday, November 14th, from 10 to 5, and Saturday, November 15th, 11 to 3. Does somebody have their radio on? I get a invoice, effective invoice for 900. There, okay. Okay, so anyway, we already have our next year exhibition booked. We're going to have it earlier this year because we found out so many people had so many different shows in October, with all the different pastel societies and different things. And so many people were really busy. So we moved the show. It is going to be at Framations up in St. Charles, and it will run from May 9th to July 25th. That's 2026. And receiving will be April 8th through May 2nd. And then the retrieval will be July 28th through August 1st. The good thing about having it there is we'll be able to have bigger paintings and maybe more paintings. We're not real sure yet, but we won't be as so limited on size. And we'll also be able to have prints there. Lynn said we could have prints, but it was kind of late in the day when she said it. And so a lot of people didn't get to do the prints. So the prints won't be entered in the judging, but they'll be there for sale, and it'll be an opportunity for us to sell more work. And we'll announce the reception later. We haven't figured that all out yet. Don't forget to renew your Gateway Pastel membership. If you do it by December 15th, we're going to put all the names in a hat and draw one out, and the lucky winner will win Rembrandt 30 sticks, 30 half sticks. So you get a little incentive for renewing early. Okay, and we have a new member, and he's here with us here tonight, Michael Escott. And would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? You'll have to unmute.
Sure. Well, thank you, everybody. My name is Michael Escott. I live up in Quincy, Illinois, so I'm a little bit far away, but it hasn't caused a problem yet. I've been a watercolorist and an oil painter for many, many years. I've just started taking up pastels. And so I do mostly plein air painting. And so the pastels are actually working out pretty well plein air. For a long time, I've been doing watercolors, but depending on the weather, that doesn't work out as well. And so I've kind of taken to pastels. The only thing, my brain kind of goes from light to dark because I've done watercolors for so many years, and it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to the dark to light. But I'm learning as I go. I have friends that do pastels, and that's basically where I'm going, YouTube videos and friends to learn. Just this last week, I just learned that I can put alcohol on my underpainting and kind of firm it up as long as I don't use the Sennelier card, which deteriorates. So it's a lot of discovery for me right now.
That's great. That's great. You know who else lives up there is Deborah Scoggin Myers. I don't know.
Yes.
Do you know
She's
her?
actually the person who invited me to join the club.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Because that would be nice if you two could, bring paintings down and take paintings back and for the shows and stuff. Yeah.
We already have. She took my painting down, and I'm picking hers up on Friday. So,
Well, good. You're a step ahead of me.
so
Oh, well, that's wonderful. So nice to meet you, Michael.
thanks.
And I have one more announcement. I guess you've all heard that IOPS, this is going to be the last convention for IOPS this year. The registration for the IOPS event is 3 days from now. It's on November 15th let's see, yeah, November 15th. So you register, it's kind of weird. There's 3 different stages. You register first for the event, then on December 1st at noon Eastern time, you register for the hotel rooms. And then the classes, you register on January 17th. They used to do it all together and the whole system crashed and they had to wait a week to get it back. So that's why they've divided it all up now to doing it like this. And if you've never ever been, it's a event that you really want to go to because there'll never be one like it again. They have classes, demos. If you go on their website, it's IAPS.org and go underneath the convention. It'll give you all the things. They have a Friday night fiesta where everybody dresses up and we do exchanges and give out things and stuff. And then there's book signings and there's banquets and there's opening of the big show. You'll get to see the whole IOPS show in person. Then they also have people now that you sign up and they take 20 people through and they talk about certain ones. So you learn what what that person sees in different artwork. And it's really neat. You learn so much. Then the candy store, the vendors come and they put out all their wares and they usually have some pretty good buys and all the new stuff you get to play with and they'll have samples laid out and you can play with it and stuff. And it's just really, really an exciting event to go to. What they're going to do now, they're going to downsize and they're hoping to have maybe smaller ones in regions, but I think that it's going to be more just like classes. And, we're not going to get the vendors all there. You may have one vendor, you know, uh, it'll never be. They call it the biggest party on the planet, the biggest pastel party on the planet. So, and there's 700 pastelists. We get the whole hotel and all the conference rooms and everything. It's all just pastelists. So anyway, it's really exciting. So, and tonight we're going to have our exciting program with Nina Kim, and I want her to tell you, she really had a great approach on how she decided. This was her first workshop, but a really great approach on how she decided what to do and how to do it. So besides the workshop itself. So I'm going to turn it over to Nina and she will introduce herself.
Thanks, Vic. Hi, everyone. My name's Nina, and I think I've met many of you at the show too recently or before that, but welcome, Michael. So glad you can join. I've been working in soft pastel for about 2 years now, but had been doing oil pastels actually before that, and then I was like, I need to switch over. And yeah, this was my first workshop. But before we get into that, as Vic said, I do have a little Zoom tutorial for us to do today, because I would love for this time together to be a little bit more interactive. And also, when we have other instructors who come and do this for us, these could be good features that we can use for them too. So we're going to do a couple of things here. First, we're going to work with what's called reactions. And so if you can look for an icon that says react, it has a little heart over it. If you're on a computer, it will be like along the bottom. If you pop that open, and you can just send me one of those fun reactions, like a thumbs up or a heart. Yeah, Michael found it. The clapping, rocket ships. I love it. All right. I want to make sure everyone finds the reactions. Okay. So in the pop-up, there is a option that says raise hand. Can everyone click on the raise hand? Awesome. Okay. This is a really good way if you have a question to just pop up your virtual hand, and then I will know that you have something you want to ask, and I can like kind of work you into the presentation. So it's just a really helpful feature, and then it will you can lower your hand when you are done. So it's also a good thing to use the raise hand feature. I'm going to have us practice with that of like kind of like a poll, an informal poll. Okay, so that's reactions. Then I want to make sure everyone knows how to go and use the chat window. So that's right next to reactions. And if you just go type in there, I want to know how many workshops people have done. Give me a number. Ballpark it if you've done a lot of them. How many pastel workshops have you done in the chat? All right, Julie. Oh my gosh. Okay, Vic is about 50.
And that's not counting the oil ones.
Oh yeah, no, just pastel workshops.
Yeah.
Okay. Susan, 25? Holy cow, you guys are all right. Deb and Vic and Susan and Julie. How about you, Anne? How many have you done? Many. Okay. So once again, this was my very first workshop. So I'm just bringing back some things that I learned, but I have a feeling you all will have some ideas from the many workshops that you've all been a part of. So I do have a couple areas where I want you to kind of jump in and give some thoughts. So stay tuned for those times. For those of us who have done maybe one or less, hopefully this is very informative. All right, let me share my screen. Oh, can you turn on the sharing again, Vic?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. Make sure I'm on the right window. Okay. Can everyone see that all right? Perfect. All right. So like Vic said, I chose this workshop for a specific reason. And actually for the last year, I think it's been since January, I have been a part of Jacob Aguire's Patreon coaching program. So it's the highest tier in his program, his Patreon, and I meet with him every month for about 45 minutes, and he like works with me on my like artistic goals, and he looks at my work, and we talk about what I can do to get better. And I wanted to take a workshop with him specifically to one, like build my relationship with him because I knew I was going to continue this mentorship program. And then I thought meeting him in person would be really helpful. And then I also really wanted to get better at plein air painting. So Michael, this might be where you can jump in. And so it was kind of like the perfect combo that it was Jacob. He, was going to a beautiful place. I have pictures that you'll see. And it was plein air. So I was really special to get to like learn from my mentor in that way. And I definitely felt like, it was fruitful for me to do that. All right. So here's what I'm going to go over today. Some of like just the general workshop info. How much did it cost me? The gear that I brought, the content of the workshop, and then some of my key takeaways. And I have some little tips along the way to kind of watch out for. So this was the brief. for the workshop and and the information that he had me fill out. I know probably every artist is different, but what I really appreciated is that he made me list right here goals that I wanted to accomplish by taking the workshop. So these were my three. I wanted to better understand values in the landscape, get more comfortable using pastels for plein air, and do stronger landscape compositions. And then below that, you can kind of see some of the logistics. So it was like 9 to 4. That was true. We worked all day. We were painting outside. We had a lunch break. And the key for the plein air workshop specifically was that we had to be really flexible because like everything was weather dependent. It was the middle of the summer, so it was pretty hot. There were different options for locations. So that plein air workshop specific have to be flexible and plan for a lot of different things. And you can see here that the cost was $650 for the workshop only. So I was responsible for all the other costs. And then the workshop was 15 people. That was another thing that really attracted me to this, was that it was going to be a smaller size. So I knew I was probably going to get some more individualized attention, let's say, being less people. So my two little tips here. One is that having goals beforehand helped me to really focus my time in the workshop itself. And afterwards, it gave me a bit of a measure of value to see like if I got those things out of it. And then Jacob actually is very familiar with the Bighorn Mountains where we were. It's where he did an artist residency at this art museum there. And I think that that really added to the trip, having him be familiar with the area. I know a lot of artists like do these destination, like amazing, plein air workshops, probably to places that they're not as familiar with sometimes. And the fact that he knew this place actually really enhanced the experience. So that was pretty cool. All right. How much did it cost? Here we go. Like I said, workshop itself was $650. My flight, which was from St. Louis to Billings, Montana, I had to drive 2 hours from there down to Sheridan, Wyoming, was $600. Lodging, this is my hot take, my hot tip right here. It was pretty low, $394. I got an Airbnb with 2 other artists. So that really cut down my lodging costs, and we also split the rental car. So that was good too. Meals and incidentals were around $225, and then I did buy supplies before the workshop. So it was total around $2,100. For those of you who have taken many workshops before, is this higher or lower than normal for a destination workshop? What'd you say?
How many days did you say it is, Nina?
4 days. It was 4
4 days.
days.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say I was there for like 5 nights because I came in the day before too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah. I know I've seen others that have been pretty expensive. Michael, I see your question. I did not know the other participants. I actually asked Jacob if I could have the list of people, and I contacted the other women who were in the group, and I asked them if they would be willing to room with me. So that's how I found the other people, which worked out great.
I bet that was helpful
Yeah,
in the
it was
class
super
to meet other
helpful.
people. Yeah.
And plus it was so nice to get to like talk with them, like when the day was through, and like, reminisce about what we learned and hear about them as artists. Everyone was so talented who was there. So any other questions about the costs? Okay. All right, let's talk about the gear. This was my plein air setup, and it, besides the tripod and my little seat, which we'll talk about, everything there fit into my backpack that you see shown there, and it's pretty small. It's like a normal size backpack. It is not oversized. It's like a school size backpack. So I was really happy with this setup, and a couple of things that made it possible. One is the Dakota Pochade box. This is a new purchase that I have been using for a couple of months before going on this trip, because I wanted something really light. It is about 13 inches big, and pops open. It has like a single layer that you could do, and you'll see it in the next picture, open. But yeah, that, like, not having a huge box to lug around, pastels made this really possible for me. The other thing I really loved was having a folio that I brought my paper in, and I just use that for my paintings as well when I was finished with them. I learned this from Karen Margulis. This is how she does her plein air. I saw her talk about it in a YouTube video. So you'll see that right here. And that was like a, letter size, like a 9x12 situation there. I invested in a travel tripod. It was this one specifically, the Manfrotto Be Free. My requirement was that it had to fit in my 20-inch carry-on. And so it folds up very small, but it's still very durable. And I got one of these things from Amazon that you like clip to the legs, and you can put weight in the bottom of it so that it doesn't fall over, because my setup is pretty lightweight. So I would basically put my backpack in the bottom like weight area to keep it steady. And I got it off of Facebook Marketplace for much, much cheaper. So if you're looking for gear like that, I bought it from somebody who does like video work. It's technically a video tripod. And the Dakota Pochade box, by the way, I bought it with the attached tripod plate built in. So that's one of the options for it. And I just opted to get that because I knew I was going to be attaching it right to the tripod. My other must-have was a pop-up seat. This also I got, it was like a last minute buy from Amazon. It costs like 15 bucks, and it just like pops up into this little seat for you. This brand was Opley, and it also fit into my carry-on, again, requirement. I use this thing all the time because Jacob would do these like long demos like in the sun, and the first day like we were standing the whole time, and I was like, no, I'm bringing the seat next time. And it just made it so nice to have like a place to sit down every once in a while. For a couple of the times, I actually didn't even get out my tripod. I just opened my seat, sat down, and opened my Dakota box right on my lap, and I just started drawing. And that made me much faster getting ready, and that really enhanced, gave me so much more time, basically, to draw and paint. So any questions about the gear?
Did you happen to have a picture of what that Opley stool looks like? Is it?
You know what? I'm just going to find it super quick on Amazon, and I will drop the link in there for you guys because
Wow.
I really liked it. It will take me like 2 seconds.
How many pastels did you actually bring with you? Do you have a
Okay,
picture?
you know what? I'll show you in the next picture.
Okay, great.
Okay, give me a little bit on the, I'll put it in the chat at the end, Holly, just remind me.
Sure, great.
But yeah, it was really inexpensive. It actually came as a pack of 2 seats as well. For the veteran workshoppers or plein air painters, what is one must-have item in your plein air set? Mike, you have an answer. I can see it.
A hat.
A hat. Yep, I used on my hat on the picture. That was very important because it was very sunny.
Yep.
Like the whole time. Yep. Absolutely.
Sunblock helps too.
Yes. Yeah, actually, Jacob did not bring sunblock, and he was like out there and his arms got really burnt. I was like, dude, rookie mistake, and you're the instructor.
Yeah, I went to
Vic.
San Diego one time and the sun was so hot that
Oh.
the tops of my ears turned black.
Oh
It was
no.
horrible.
Oh,
So
that's bad.
it's a good lesson though. I never forget my hat now.
Yes, the hat was a must. Vic, love the raised hand. What's your must have?
Water
Yep.
and, oh shoot, I had another one. Anyway,
Bug spray.
I like to bring a little plastic or a little drop cloth to stand on if I'm in grass because it figures really easy.
That is a great idea. Yep. That is a great one. Yeah, water bottle not pictured. Yes, snacks, a good easel. Yep. Good
Trash
answer.
bag is nice too.
What'd you say?
A trash bag is nice too.
Oh, yes. I not pictured. I also did bring like just like grocery bags, the plastic grocery bags as the trash bags, gloves and paper towels and a water bottle and snacks. But I didn't throw them in my gear picture. All right, let's keep going. So here are, oh, now you can see the box open right there. So this is my box there on the side, so you can see the amount of pastels that I brought. And I have Jacob's box right next to it, so you can kind of see the comparison. He said this was very pared down for him, which was pretty funny. He likes to work with a lot of options. And I also brought new pastels in like a little container, and he also brought like a new pastel box too. So that was not pictured here, but he did have that as well. So yeah, you get it held quite a few, like the box, the Dakota box, but I did break them up pretty small. So you can kind of see sort of they're like almost like half size. If you take like a Terry Ludwig stick, I basically broke that in half, and that was the standard size that I was operating with in that to be able to fit as many as I could. One thing I did learn from this is that I wish I had brought way more green options and way more like neutral and brownish like ochres. I did feel like I didn't have enough of those, and I probably, if I could go back, wouldn't have brought as many sort of like orangey colors, and I would have not brought as many of like the reds, but I would have done more of like the green for sure. Any questions about that?
He doesn't seem to have many really, really darks on his palette. Does he not use very darks? Kind of dark, medium.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can kind of see he has a lot more like mid. So he does have darks. I mean, you'll see them in his paintings, which we're gonna get to in just a second. But yeah, I guess not a ton of darks, I suppose.
Okay.
Good. That's a good call out, Holly.
I'm sorry,
Go
how
ahead.
much bigger was his palette than yours?
So his box is like the Heilman standard box.
Okay,
It's not the backpack one. That would be like half the size. So
okay,
I think his box was about like, let's say it's like 4 times really the size of my box, because
Yeah.
my box would be like 4, because mine
Okay.
was only 1 layer, right? And his was like the 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of people had the same box as him. I don't know if it's a new one maybe that Heilman's putting out, but it was very popular among the artists who were there, for sure. And I could probably fit more sticks into my box too if I took out all of the like foam that was in there. But I liked to keep them organized just a little bit. So, you know.
And I'll tell you, I've tried it without foam and unless you keep them really packed tight like his is, they roll on top of each other and they mark, and you
Yep.
either clean them or you can't tell what they are.
Yes. Yep, I know. So that's what I opted for, is to keep it in there. And then you can see like this, I was working pretty small. And then I just was using tape to like put them on the back. And I do find like it's very sturdy. Like it has like those special hinges so that it doesn't just close. Like the top, it stays open. And there was no worry that it was gonna like blow over or anything. Very sturdy. All right, so let's get into the workshop content. It was 4 days. So, and I really liked how Jacob structured it. He did kind of like a progressive, 4 days for us, where we started really small and quick, and then we kind of worked up to a bigger painting. So I'll kind of show you each day sort of what we were doing. So first day was mini studies, and this was at a very cool ranch that we got to go on that was like looking up into the mountains. You can see in that the picture right here. And the goal that he gave us was to really capture the energy and the feel of a place. And so he wanted us to do 4 like very short, small, like mini thumbnails, like very fast. And he set up and he just turned looking 4 different directions and did it right there. So like you could do it really quickly. And in this picture, you can see his setup there. So he has a Heilman box. He uses what's called the easel butler to hold his box. And then he has like a special like panel holder that I don't remember the name of. But he had like a huge, like massive tripod. I think by the end I had convinced him that he should buy the Dakota box too, to take on backpacking trips and stuff. But yeah, his setup was pretty cool. So in the middle here, you can see his 4 that he did, and the 2 on the bottom, were like the opposite direction. But this was just a really great exercise to kind of get us warmed up and thinking about like how we capture feelings that we have like when we're in a location. Any questions about that? Let's go to day 2. Day 2, we went to the Brinton Museum, which was the place that Jacob had done his residency. And coincidentally, he also had a show that was happening there. So we got to see that and a bunch of his really amazing paintings. And this was like the next step, which was to do a small color study. So you can see on his easel there that he's working on like a 6x8. He does a lot of these little color studies. He wanted us to work small, just work on capturing information, not take too long. Again, like, up maybe like 30 minutes a piece. And there's an image there of sort of like what the landscape looked like. So we were still kind of down in the plain looking up at the mountains. And it was more about, capturing like how like do we capture like the land masses that are kind of stacking on top of each other, and like the change in direction that's happening in the mountains and in the grass. Kind of being able to do the perspective, looking up into the mountains with the sky. So you can see his painting there in the middle, which is amazing. All of his paintings are amazing. And you'll see all mine at the end. I made a compilation of them so you can kind of see this. But this was a really fun day, painting at the museum. All right, day 3, we actually drove up into the mountains. We drove an hour up a very windy road to the top And so this day was more about capturing the atmosphere and just observing the differences that we were seeing in the landscape. So you can see in my picture there, this was at an overlook that just like, it was like miles and miles looking out with like the huge, sky and all of the plains. And so Jacob kind of spontaneously was like, oh my gosh, like we have to stop here and paint this. So he got out and he did a demo for us that you can see in the middle of really a focus on like the sky and the clouds and the expanse, and capturing like some of the land, but like how do you sort of, get it to look like you're really staring out into this big expanse below you. And so it was so helpful to see how he captured that, because then we all tried to paint it. And I do think of all the days, this was one of the ones that like everybody made like a really, really good painting. Just seeing like how he captured the subject matter. It was really cool to do that. And then we also got to paint in some other locations in the mountains that had these like beautiful pine trees and some really cool rock formations. So that was a really special day to be there. Okay, the last day, we actually had inclement weather and we were supposed to go back up into the mountains. But it was so foggy that you like couldn't see the road. So we opted to go back to the ranch. And on this last day, the goal was to go a bit bigger and kind of pull all of the things that we had learned together. So he did a bigger color study. This one was like, I think it was like maybe like 8 by 10. And it was, again, the scenery was more of like the plains, like looking up into the mountains. So it was a good time. And then we also did a critique. At the end of this day, everyone got to put up all their work and we got to see what people created. And that was so fun. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole thing, was just seeing all the amazing work that people made. Was really cool. All right. Any questions about the content?
Yes.
Yes, tell me.
The slide before this one,
Yep,
there his box down there with all the colors, and I see his pastel.
yep, this is his new pastels.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what I was wondering. I didn't know if it might be pencils, and I was
Yeah,
going to
he
say, doesn't
you had new pastels with him.
got it.
Yeah. He was getting set up in that picture that I snapped.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. All right. So this is the work that I painted during the workshop. And this was the first day. Those like 4 little studies that he asked us to do. And then in the afternoon, I did these 2 little paintings. This was the one with the atmosphere and the sky. This was from the day with the museum. I actually opted to just continue to do more of the like smaller studies. So I did 4 more of those just to practice. And then I did one here that was the like maybe more developed color study. And then these 2 were done at one of those other mountain locations, really high up in the mountains where the sky was like super blue. And then these 2 were from the last day of starting to like kind of put everything together and at the ranch. So it was good. I was really happy with doing a lot of paintings because I learned a lot, I think, from each one of them. And that brings me to my takeaways. So first one is not trying to make finished paintings. Jacob really encouraged us to actually not try to create finished work, but instead to use plein air to just capture information and he was like, just take all that, like make your studies, get your reference material, and then you can make the finished paintings like back in the studio. But he really just said like for him, like plein air was for from capturing the information essentially and the feel. And then taking the pressure off yourself to do finished paintings was another lesson that I had, which was just to be able to like really let go and to let it be a learning experience. I was a little bit nervous because this is my first workshop. And I just really tried to let go of the outcome of like making good paintings, and really try to dive in and try Jacob's exercises, and everyone was on their own art journey, including me. The easier setup, I had more time to paint. I definitely felt that streamlining my gear and setup just made it so that I could set up and paint so much more quickly. I had way more time to do that. And pro tip is that pretty much every day I tried to pick a really central location, even if it wasn't like scenery that was like super optimal, because Jacob would walk by to all the other painters and I was there in the middle, and I got a lot of FaceTime with him because every time he would walk by, he would see what I was doing. So I know there were people who like went really far away and he had to go track them down. And I don't think that they got as much time with him because they just were so far away. So there you go. If you're on a plein air trip with someone, try to stick in the central location where it's easier for them to walk to you, and you'll probably see them more. And then lastly, working small and painting more. I think this is just sort of in general, probably when you're getting, when you're trying to practice, which is sort of where I'm at with my painting journey. But Jacob in this workshop really encourages to continue to paint small and to paint more paintings, because we would learn more from like doing more, and like trying to do a variety of subject matter, because in that case, with every new thing you're trying to paint, there's a new problem that you have to solve. And the more problems you solve while painting, the better you get. So those are kind of my 4 big things that I did learn from this, among many others. Michael, you're asking, did you do anything special to carry your paintings in and out of the field? Yes, I use that folio. It has like those clear, pages in it. So I like literally just like stuck the paper in, I took it out, I put it on the easel. When I was done, I just put it back into the folio. And that worked great. Yeah, I'll find the Amazon links to the folio and the chair, and I'll send them to you guys. My little tip here too was don't forget to network. I got to go out to dinner with Jacob 3 times in this workshop. And that was just from taking some initiative, but of like, getting in the group chat and being like, hey, do people want to go to dinner? And, inviting people to go out to eat, because like, I know I'm someone who generally takes the lead in that type of thing anyway, but it was great. And I felt like those times were also really valuable to me to get to network and talk to the other artists too. Jacob uses UArt 400, and he did not do any underpaintings. He just went for it every single time. And he usually does. He does do underpaintings quite often, but he did not do any for the plein air, which was kind of interesting. So I did not do any underpaintings either, because I was pretty much exclusively working on the Sennelier La Carte paper, which doesn't let you really do that. So I was just going for it as well. Oh, I got one more here too, just to see. Did you carry on or check your suitcase? Okay, so I did not check anything. All I had was my backpack and my carry-on. So everything fit in those 2 things. And I had my pastels in my backpack and everything else was in my carry-on. Jacob does use new pastels relatively often in his paintings, especially when he's beginning. I think it's what he uses. He used a lot to do sort of like his first like marks in his painting to kind of set up his composition. He was using new pastels quite often. Let's see. Yeah, any other questions? We got to see some moose and go hiking to an amazing waterfall. So these are all their pictures up in the mountains and stuff too. It was awesome. Nice. Cool. Well, let me stop sharing. And I'm just going to go find those links. I'm going to pop them into the chat now that I have a little bit of time here. Thank you, Vic. My the piece that I had in the show with the trees, that was reference material from this trip. I took a lot of photos, which was awesome.
Great.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Amazon really quick here. Get you guys this. Okay, this is the Opley stool. Dropping it in the chat. Oh, it's a very long link, but it's only one thing. And then this was the folio. Where is it? Oops. Here we go. Okay. Yep. All right, here's the folio. There you go. Cool. All right, Deb, good question. Do you plan to take another workshop with Jacob or someone else? So I would really like to take another workshop with Jacob. Again, like I basically have found that his teaching style really resonates with me. And so I feel like it will help to continue my learning to keep like learning from him. However, I do have a couple other artists that I really like to learn from too. Barbara Janicki is one of them. I love her paintings, and I know she's got a very specific way of doing things, so I'd like to take one from her. But yeah, I am actually planning to probably go to IAPS this year instead of doing a like workshop potentially. So I can experience that at least one time. Jacob will be there. He is going to be doing one of the demos on the last day, actually. So highly recommend.
They also have 3-day workshops ahead of the
hey.
IAPS, and they have 1 or 2 days after they have workshops.
Nice.
So, and I lost everybody because I went to the link, so I can't see anybody and I don't know how to get back. But I can still hear everybody.
Yeah, any other questions or thoughts on workshops? Jacob did tell me he plans to go back to the Bighorn Mountains, so I'm hoping to go back there again, like now that I'm familiar with the place too. I think that will be really fun. But I yeah, I definitely want to keep going and painting with him because I think that that's helping like the continuity of it being the same person is actually like really helping me to advance more quickly because he can like reflect with me and he's seen my work and he like knows my journey. So I think that that's been really helpful to me personally.
I think that's a great idea.
Cool. Thanks for letting me present. It was so fun.
Before we go, I would like to know who else is thinks they might go to IOPS this year. And like I said, I can't see anybody. So even if you raise your hand, could you just say your name? And
This is
say-
Holly. I'm considering it.
Okay. Anybody else?
And Parrot.
Oh, Ian, okay, good. Anybody else?
Of course, I
Okay,
probably won't be so much with you guys.
yeah, well,
Sorry.
that's okay. Rocky and I work, and so we're not with anybody either.
Well, the Ozark and Arkansas Pastel are going to try to do a double table
Okay,
for the fiesta.
okay,
And
good.
somehow I got put in charge of that. So,
Okay, well, I'm gonna send out a letter, for that. Let's see, I have, um, anyway, try to be well, if you're the first to respond and then say you want to be with Ozark together, and we're going to do kind of the first come, first serve like we did last time.
oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so the sooner you tell me, the sooner you'll get table number 1, number 2, number 3, like that. You won't be as far back. Not that it really matters because everybody gets seen, but some people just like to be in front. So,
How did we get up in the very front last year?
because probably Shirley said, or
Yeah.
yeah, somebody responded. I wasn't in charge of taking the reservations last year. Um, Carol Hall was. So I don't know. I didn't number people, but I do know that this year I'm doing it.
Okay.
So
Is this enough or do I have to send you an official notification?
you'll have to send me an official one.
Okay.
I think it'll be, I have a list somewhere here, but I have too many lists about when I'm gonna send it out, but
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be after registration, so
Okay. I'll watch for it.
probably early January sometime, I'm thinking.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Sorry, everybody. We went off on a tangent.
Well, does anybody have anything else?
Well, I certainly enjoyed that. There were
Oh,
a lot of tips in there that I thought were quite valuable. So,
Nina, did a wonderful job.
I'm so
and
glad.
it was interesting also just to see how he approached teaching a workshop, but it just the equipment that was just great.
Yeah.
Good. One more thing I'll add, because I know every workshop and artist is different. I do have to say that like Jacob, he did a demo for us for maybe like the first 45 minutes, and then we all went to paint, and he multiple times visited every person, gave them personalized feedback, like was really intent. He did not paint himself at all, like besides the demo. Um, and I really appreciated that. I've heard that there are other artists who are kind of like, all right, I did my demo, now you're off on your own, and you don't get a lot of personalized feedback. But I think he was very intentional about that. So another plug for his workshops.
Well, Nina, don't hang up when we go because you're gonna have to get me back where I can see everybody so I can quit recording.
Yeah, no worries.
Does anybody have anything else? Okay, there's no meeting in December. In January, we're gonna have Susan Lyons. And if you don't know her work, look her up. She does fantastic charcoal-ish portraits. They're not all charcoal, but anyway, they're just oh, what's a good word for them?
They're almost like tonalist portraits.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like they're sort of like monochrome. Like,
yeah, really, really neat. And she does oil paintings too, but she's going to go over the more the charcoal tonalist for us. So I think it'll be very interesting. I've seen her do a demo before and she's really, really good. So, but don't forget and send me your news. Well, we won't have, let's see, we won't have a newsletter in December, but we'll have one early January. So you have to send it to me in December. If you have any news or an article or anything that you think that our members would like. December 15th deadline for January newsletter. Okay, and the meeting will be January 14th, Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month, January 14th, 2026.
I have a question.
Yes,
On the dues, it's
Yeah.
35, correct?
correct.
Okay, and before you would have to send a receipt to me to get it through PayPal. Do you still have to do that?
No, you can go right on our gatewaypastelartists.com and go under membership and push PayPal and you can pay it right there. I think it still says Venmo. We don't have Venmo and I've got to get somebody to take that off because I don't know how to do that either. But PayPal we do and it'll go right through.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Any
paid
other-
mine on using the website, using PayPal, and it worked. No
Yes.
problem.
Yes,
Okay,
we got that.
perfect.
Thank you. And thank everybody who's already rejoined. Okay, well, I guess this concludes the meeting, except for Nina telling me how to get back.
Yeah, Vic, what kind of computer do you have?
Mac,
Right, okay. Down along the bottom of your computer, you have like all the icons for
no,
your
I
apps.
have nothing. I have Zoom up.
Yeah,
and
click a Zoom, click a Zoom.
No, it just says Zoom right in the middle of the screen.
Oh.
And then I do have a little smiley face down at the bottom right-hand corner that's like a chat box or something.
Okay, that sounds weird.
I hit the link. And up at the top, my tabs say meeting information Zoom. I think that's the first one. And then post attendee Zoom.
Yeah, you need to find the meeting window. Do you
I'll
see
try.
it?
I wonder what'll happen if I go off and we don't have the recording.
Well, if you exit the meeting, the recording will automatically stop.
Okay, and it's going to the cloud, so I don't have to.
Right.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Do you see
Okay.
the leave button?
I'm sorry.
Do you see the leave button?
I'm thinking it's this little guy, maybe.
Yes, it's the little guy like going through the door.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
No, that was the virtual agent. No,
No, that's not what you want.
no.
Okay, so are you on double screen, one screen?
I'm on one screen. I do have a
Okay.
few tabs at the top.
So probably will help if you minimize your other windows. So like, are you looking at a window that has like the three dots in the corner, like the
Yeah,
red,
up at the left. Yes, yes.
yeah, the red. So like, just click on the either the
Yellow.
minus or like the red to get rid of some of your extra windows.
Yellow.
The
No,
yellow. Mm-hmm.
whole thing went down.
Yep. Now, do you see anybody? Hello?
No, it's my screen. And I can't get rid of the virtual guy either.
Okay, so that tells me that your Zoom windows are probably available somewhere to you. Do you know where to find your menu? Like when you're like opening an app? If you go to like the side or the bottom of your screen, it should pop up.
Yes,
Okay, do you see it popping up now?
I see that. Okay, and there's a Zoom.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
click on
I
the
got
Zoom.
it. I got it.
Yay, we're back. Okay,
Yes.
can you can stop the recording at the top.
Okay, did everybody leave? No. Good night,
I
everybody.
wanted to learn about Zoom too.
I got it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, stop recording. I forgot to do that.
Yeah, you can just click it in your participant thing or